Hey there guys, how's it going? Thanks for checking out this video. Today I've got something very special to show you guys. This is an Nvidia Battlebox. This is an ultimate gaming PC. My sponsors over at PCSpecialist put this together with Nvidia and sent me this out to show to you guys. We're going to be doing some benchmarking. I'm going to go over the specs that are in this thing, what it's capable of, as well as actually give you guys some suggestions for how this kind of technology can relate to what you're doing at the moment with PC gaming, where PC gaming is going, and also showcase the new game share software from Nvidia. It's currently in beta at the moment, but what it does is it allows you guys to remotely play games on other PCs. So for instance, I can send you guys a link to your email or just send you a link, and you guys can click that link and then it will allow you to play my PC games on my PC remotely. We've tested it out. I'm going to show you guys some of the testing later, the quality, all that kind of stuff, but it's very cool. And I'm going to pick a few of you guys to actually have a few goes of my PC. You're going to be able to play my PC from the comfort of your own home on your own desktop or laptop. So if you want a chance to do that, leave a comment down below. Just comment with your Twitter handle so I can contact you easily, and also the game that you want to play. Just any game that you want on Steam, a modern game that you'd like to try out. I've probably got it, and I'll be choosing a few of you guys to use this beastly PC later on in the week. And if everything goes well, I'm also going to be making a video showcasing that, me playing against you guys, and potentially, if it runs really well, might actually even make a series playing against you guys using Nvidia Game Share. So anyway, that's it for the intro. Let's go over what is inside this thing. So normally when I get a new PC or I do some testing, I just tell you guys the CPU, the graphics card and the memory, but this thing is so top tier. Everything in this PC is super high end, so I'm going to go over everything. Starting off with the case, it's a Corsair Obsidian Steed 750D tower case. It's an absolutely huge case, perfect for good air cooling, which you're going to need on a PC like this. It's going to be doing really high end stuff, and it looks like an absolute beast sitting under your desk. The CPU is an i7 6-core 5930K. Those of you that know your processors will know that is one of the top tier ones. Very expensive, and oh my, is it good. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. The motherboard from Asus, a Rampage V Extreme. This is one of their gaming motherboards. So many options available on this motherboard. Really awesome. It's got a great BIOS menu, and a motherboard is something that I've never really cared about until I got this one. And I looked at it, I was like, damn, not only does it look cool, it's just got so many options. It's so easy to use. Memory wise, we have got 32 gigabytes of Kingston HyperX Predator Quad DDR4 RAM. DDR4 RAM is really amazing. I've never had it before, and now in this machine we've got 32 gigs of it. So one of the great things about having that much RAM in a PC is that you know you're not getting bottlenecks by your RAM. That's why this thing is so amazing across the board. In some games they're not very well optimized one way or another. It's the RAM, the graphics card, or the CPUs holding it back. This thing, everything is top tier, including that RAM, which is just absolutely ridiculous. For graphics cards, we've got two 6GB GeForce GTX 980 Ti's. I actually did a review of a 980 Ti a couple of months ago. This one has two of them in, and really, two graphics cards is where you're going. If you want to see that extra performance for buying another graphics card, when we start getting to 3 and 4 graphics cards, you're really getting diminishing returns for how much you're spending. But 2, you will see a serious boost, especially on games that are well optimized for SLI gaming. There's a whole list of games that are optimized for SLI gaming that's on the Nvidia site. I'll put that link down below as well. If you're thinking about getting 2 graphics cards instead of 1, check out that website because it will tell you what games actually support that the most. In terms of hard drives, we've got one 1TB SSD. That is crazy. My last SSD was, I think, a 250 meg around then. This one is 1TB of SSD, and I've also got a standard hard drive in there as well, which is 2TB. Power supply 1200 watts, just in case we want to upgrade at all or anything. That thing's going to be able to handle any kind of power consumption needs that we're going to have. And cooling, we've got the H100i, very good cooling unit. This thing has been staying icy cool. Really pleased with the temperatures on it, so that thing is obviously working really well. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there that are into PC gaming would have seen some benchmarks for dual 980 Ti, so you might be interested to see what my results were when I did a few different games. I tested out quite a lot of games that I thought might be useful. Some of them had big difference results and some of them not so much. It's something you might want to consider if you're looking at SLI cards. Are the kind of games you want to play going to make the most of that? And as a general rule, I tend to find that the really good kind of action RPG story-based games are normally ones that work really well with SLI. You do get a big benefit. it. Things like The Witcher, games like Mad Max, even the Batman games, they really work with this kind of thing. I mean, games that are made for everyone to run very easily, maybe League of Legends or CSGO, not so much. You want a top-end card really if you want to go for the top-end resolutions, but really the way that this thing shines, or the SLI cards shine, is when you play things like The Witcher 3, which are just absolute showcases of graphics. And obviously games like Skyrim, although Skyrim is dated now, similar games like that always do really well with dual graphics cards. So after testing this PC, you might be wondering, is there anything particular about the performance that really stood out to me to a previous build? I mean, I had an i7 4770K processor last time, 16 gigs of DDR3 and a 980 Ti. I had a 780 Ti for a while and a 980 Ti. I guess the main thing that I've really noticed with this PC is the CPU. I mean, the graphics cards are good. It's great to have two, and with games that run SLI really well, you do notice a difference and a boost. But really, the big jump up for me is this processor. I've always wanted to try out a processor this powerful. I've never had the chance, and the big thing that it improved was my streaming. Without getting too technical about things, with my old CPU, I quite often have to stream PC games at 720p 60 frames, because if I actually pushed it up to 1080, my CPU would just overload and overheat and it will cause stuttering. With this CPU, it's that powerful that you can stream 1080p 60 frames and play 1080p 60 frames on the same PC with not much effect on the actual game itself. Normally, if you tried to do that on a less powerful CPU, if you'd get really bad frame rate on your game, or you'd also get your CPU overloading, which would mean it would stutter. But with this CPU, it can stream and play 1080p 60 frames, just no trouble whatsoever. And even if I want to push the encoding rate to make it a much higher encoding rate, it will do that as well with no problems whatsoever. So enough of the technical babble. I guess those of you that have any technical questions or things like that, you can obviously tweet at me, leave a comment. I'll try and answer them. Any questions about this PC that are a bit more in-depth. But let's start to talk about the game share from Nvidia, because this is one thing that, along with the release of these BattleBox, they're really pushing. It's like remote viewing while playing games. It really is kind of cool. To actually use this, you have to go onto Nvidia GeForce Experience and tick the beta option. Then it will download a new overlay for GeForce Experience. And when you go into a game, it'll give you an option to obviously record like you would normally, or do playback recording like you would normally. But now there's an extra option to actually share your game with another person. So you can either have it so they can just watch you remotely, you can have it so that they can play as you remotely, or you can have it so you can play with or against them. So for instance, a game like FIFA, you could actually have FIFA on your gaming machine, invite someone to play with you, and they could play against you remotely even though they don't have the game. Or another reason that this is actually really useful, and probably the best thing that I found, is I was playing with another YouTuber friend of mine called Long Sensation. Thanks to him for helping me out with this. We were playing some Mad Max. I said, give this a go, see how it is and see how it works. One thing I noticed in particular straight away, he hadn't played the game, and he was diving out of the cars in a really weird way. He wasn't really doing it properly, and I said, no, hold on, I'll show you how it's done. So I grabbed the controls, showed him how it's done, and then he replicated that. It really was crazy, and it really is a great way. I think the best use of this at the moment is for when you're either stuck on a level and you need some help, you can't really get your head around how you do a certain boss or something. This is perfect for that. So for those of you interested in the quality of the stream that you actually get to play, is it responsive enough to play like FPS games and action games and that kind of stuff, what you'll be watching is a 720p 30 frames per second stream of what the other person is playing. So it's not going to be quite 1080p 60 frames. Obviously in the future, hopefully they will get there, but I think at the moment they're more limited by people's internet connections. You are going to need a good internet connection for this. It all goes through the internet. Obviously you're receiving a lot of video very quickly, so you're going to need probably around 10 upload. I think Nvidia recommends 5 and above, but you're going to need around 10 upload and maybe around 100 down, probably 50 download plus is going to be fine as well. As long as both connections are around there and are quite stable, you can play quite high definition very responsively. I would say 99% of games are going to be absolutely fine. The only place I'd probably draw the line at the moment with this thing is playing Counter-Strike. We played every game that we thought we could play, you know, just to test this out. We tried Rocket League, we tried The Witcher, we tried Mad Max, and all of them were really responsive. The guy on the other end said it was really cool, and it was just like he was playing the game but a little worse quality, almost like he was controlling a live stream, that kind of quality, but still fun and still cool to do. But if you're going to play a game like Counter-Strike, or maybe even an FPS game online, it's probably not best for that at the moment. Will it get there in the future? I don't know. So I'm going to be giving some of you guys a chance to play on this BattleBox PC via this new game stream system. And all you need to do is leave a comment down below, tell me what game you want to play, and leave your Twitter handle as well so that I can contact you easily. Obviously, follow me on Twitter as well. It's going to make it a lot easier. I can't DM you unless you're following me on Twitter. So make sure you're following me on Twitter. Leave your comment down below of what game you want to play. And other than that, I'm going to be picking a couple of people at random at the end of the week. And if it all goes really well, I'm hoping to make a video out of that as well. So you might get showcased in a video where I'm playing either versus or playing a co-op game with whoever wins. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video, guys. Show some love to one of my sponsors, PCSpecialist. Their link is down below. Maybe tweet at me some of the builds that you make over there. If you actually click their link, it takes you to the battle boxes and some PCs that I've personally put together myself that range from all different kinds of budgets, from like the cheapest budget possible to still play games at 1080p 60 frames, right up to my PCs and everything in between. And feel free to tweet at me if you need a little bit of advice or something, or obviously you can tweet at them for advice as well, and they'll help you out anytime they can. And that's it for now, guys. I'll see you all next time.